From our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Tasmanian authorities have declared a number of hotspots in the Northern Territory and Queensland high risk due to an infectious COVID case. Meanwhile, there has been a backflip on the controversial requirement for all visitors to provide a negative COVID test prior to entering Tasmania. Tourists from low-risk areas will be exempt once our borders open next month. This as a historic new flight route prepares to soar.
A sweet start to a new era in our skies. The first flights between Launceston and Perth bracing for takeoff later tonight.
It's a win for everybody. It's a first for Virgin Australia, it's a first for Launceston Airport.
This is the first time Launceston has been connected to the 6 biggest cities in Australia.
The new route offering a direct link between Tasmania's north and Australia's west. For Deb Knight, it means she's now only one flight away from her 4 grandchildren.
FaceTime's awesome, but definitely nowhere near the real thing where you can celebrate and cuddle.
No doubt other families are pining to be reunited when our borders reopen to the rest of the nation on December 15. That roadmap to reconnection tinkered slightly. The entry requirement of a negative COVID test scrapped for low-risk states.
That it won't be necessary to have that proof of a negative test. You will still have to be fully vaccinated.
Tourism operators are celebrating the changes, previously labelled a deterrent for travellers. Public Health concedes the original testing measures may have been overkill, but denies the backflip was influenced by loud critics in the business community.
I hear them, but I do my best to try and make the decisions on public health grounds.
We're being warned things will change after that reopening date. COVID cases will likely climb, masks will become the norm in high-risk settings, and businesses will need to dust off their COVID-safe plans.
Have a look at it, because most of what you need to do after the 15th of December is included in that document.
But it will also mark a welcome return of holidayers from all corners of the country. With long-awaited flights between Launceston and the Gold Coast also taking off next month, the airport will be the busiest it's been in years. 320 flights a week in December, a 20% increase on pre-COVID levels. Flight numbers at Hobart Airport also tipped to soar above record levels for the summer months as we edge closer to life post-pandemic. Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
And as Tasmania prepares to reopen, our vaccination rate continues to climb. 90% of those over the age of 16 have now had their first dose of the vaccine. It comes as the state government considers expanding the vaccination mandate to include workers in other industries.
Feeling a little closer to summer. With Tasmania's borders on track to open, A Taste of Tasmania is giving interstaters something to look forward to.
So our current numbers suggest that nearly a quarter of all ticket sales come from the mainland.
The state today hitting another major vaccination milestone. 90% of those over the age of 16 have had their first dose of the COVID vaccine.
I'm double vaxxed myself, so the higher the numbers, awesome.
Hopefully it will help protect us a bit more.
Making the December 15 reopening date feel closer than ever.
It's great. Let's open the state up, get more people in here, businesses flowing.
Just to open up the country again and to the world and to each other.
But as the Premier says,
on the 15th of December, there will be no turning back.
Still yet to hit the 80% double dose target, with some failing to show up for their second vaccination appointments.
Tasmanians, you've got to continue to turn up.
We're seeing around 1 or 2% per day, and we're following them up.
While 99% of over 70s are fully vaccinated, 16 to 24-year-olds are still lagging behind when it comes to first doses.
The under 24s are still in the mid-70s for their first dose, so they can't get to that double dose figure unless we get that figure up.
The state government is now actively considering whether to make the jab mandatory for other public sector workers.
Roles such as policing or frontline fire and emergency services. Teachers.
Tasmania Police is very supportive of all of our police officers being vaccinated.
A decision said to be made in the coming weeks. Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
A damning indictment of the Tasmanian public health sector. That's how the Australian Medical Association has described its latest hospital report card. The AMA says hospital staff are overloaded and exhausted, while patients are not receiving care in a timely manner.
It delivers that the Tasmanian health system is in crisis, regardless of what the state government is doing, even though we applaud what the government is doing at present.
The Health Minister says the government is investing to manage increasing demand. A man is in a critical condition in the Royal Hobart Hospital after he was allegedly stabbed several times in MOONAH overnight. His 51-year-old housemate has since been charged with the crime.
Blood spattered across the street, a man lucky to be alive after he was allegedly stabbed outside a funeral home.
The victim has multiple stab wounds to his upper torso, and as a result of that he's undergone surgery at the Royal Hobart Hospital, where he's listed in a critical condition.
The main road in MOONAH closed to motorists in peak hour traffic as police scoured the scene from above and below.
The incident scene that we're looking at the moment is over a distance of approximately 500 metres, and because it's over such a distance, that's why we've had to close the road this morning to conduct that forensic examination.
The 26-year-old victim was allegedly attacked by his housemate just after midnight. A 51-year-old man arrested at the scene.
The offender and victim are known to one another. They reside together in MOONAH. At this stage, we're unsure what's occurred prior to police arriving at that scene.
Residents in the area say the occupants are usually quiet and keep to themselves, and this incident has come as a complete shock. The 51-year-old has now been charged with causing grievous bodily harm and will appear in court tomorrow. AINSLEY, KOCH, 7 Tasmania News.
Police have tracked down 2 teenagers wanted in relation to a truck crash at Claremont last month. The truck was driving along the Brooker Highway when it crossed onto the wrong side of the road before slamming into a nearby home. Police investigations revealed a rock had been thrown from an overpass prior to the crash, smashing the truck's windscreen and leaving its driver unconscious.
He obviously received injuries as a result of this incident, and he was going about his business and didn't expect anything like this to happen. He is recovering from those injuries. We have spoken to him and let him know the outcome of.
A 13-year-old and 15-year-old are being dealt with under the Youth Justice Act. The state government claims Falls Festival demanded more than $1 million in public funding to keep the event alive. Events Minister COURTNEY says the organisers behind the popular music festival wanted more than 50 times the amount offered in 2019. The request was denied, leading to yesterday's decision to scrap the Marion Bay event after 17 years, citing funding problems. Kids aren't born bad. That was the take-home message at the launch of a new foundation by media personality Rob Fairs. The former TV presenter has set up the charity to help disadvantaged youth, urging those at today's launch to reflect on their own experiences growing up and how valuable support structures can be.
There's great kids out there, and if we can spark something in them, give them a chance instead of, discouraging them or tarnishing them all with the same brush, so to speak, and actually encourage them and say, hey, if you've got a dream, we'll give you every opportunity to realise it.
Fairzy was inspired to establish the foundation after another charity for disadvantaged youth withdrew from the state. A sexual assault victim has spoken out about her experience with online dating for the first time in the hopes of helping other women. Experts say more females are seeking support after meeting perpetrators on dating apps.
In 2014, Stacey was single, had just turned 40 and decided to re-enter the world of dating, but her fairy tale romance quickly turned into a nightmare.
He was a predator, he was crafty at what he was able to do. He mimicked women online and copied their profiles and sort of became them to lure them into his world.
Talking publicly for the first time, Stacey says she was too afraid to go to the police, fearing she wouldn't be protected.
I was exposed. Were they going to protect me personally from this person while he was out on bail? And in the end, I didn't pursue the charges.
Eventually, with the help of other victims, Stacey's perpetrator was put before the courts and sentenced to 15 years behind bars.
We all had very similar stories and pressed charges against him, and because I had the support of all these other testimonies from these other women, we were able to push forward together and have him prosecuted.
The Sexual Assault Support Service says more women are reporting assaults after online dating, and help is out there.
It's not your fault, and there's nothing to be ashamed about, and please reach out to us if you need to talk it through and for some support.
A reminder that speaking out can help others too. AINSLEY, KOCH, 7 Tasmania News.
And if this story has raised any concerns for you, contact the Sexual Assault Support Service. A West Australian woman on trial for allegedly murdering her mother is yet to learn her fate. The jury retired this afternoon but did not return a verdict after deliberating for around half an hour. The 48-year-old is accused of smothering her 71-year-old mother, Veronica Kostorfen, on or around October 3, 2019 in her Launceston home. The jury will resume deliberations on Monday morning. The fizz is about to flow for effervescence. Tasmanians are set to top up this year's crowd and enjoy wines released especially for the festival.
When your name adorns some of Tasmania's most sparkling wines, the appraisal is undisputed.
Very good.
Josef CHROMY is happy to be back on hosting duties. 14 wineries will please palates for effervescence after COVID corked last year's event.
You are able to ask all of the questions, the burning questions that you have, direct to the people that craft and make the wines.
Business has boomed at the RELBIA vineyard as consumers pour their travel budgets into fine wine. But even if you think you've tried them all, Josef CHROMY has a special release out of the cellar just for this weekend.
We're actually going to preview a vintage 2017 rosé. We've never done that before, and it's not going to be released for about 6 months.
From tomorrow, this area will be bursting with bubbles. 800 wine lovers are tipped to pop in for a tipple. And unlike other years, the majority will be Tasmanian. Usually, 2/3 of those attending come from interstate. The winemakers say Tasmania's sparkling wine profile is shining globally.
And I think you're going to see that at the masterclass tomorrow, where they're put alongside, their peers, and they really showcase the strength of cool climate viticulture in Tasmania.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania has been recognised on the world stage for its unique tourism identity. Brand Tasmania picked up the prestigious Place Brand of the Year award at the City Nation Place Awards in London last night for the Be Tasmanian campaign. The organisation was recognised for its intelligent and creative approach in bringing stakeholders on board with what Tasmania stands for. Our suffocating rental market is adding extra stress to families this Christmas, according to City Mission. While launching its annual Christmas appeal, the charity says it is seeing an influx of Tasmanians needing support as rents and house prices skyrocket.
It's almost, we would say, on the verge of impossible for someone who loses a private rental to try and achieve a new one. So we're doing all that we can for people to hang on.
The Christmas appeal aims to give those facing hardship a little bit of happiness this festive season. Those wishing to donate can visit City Mission's website or drop off new toys directly to the charity.
And being Melbourne Cup week, tonight's Friday flashback is to Tasmania's Cup champion Piping Lane. The gelding became a household name following his triumph in 1972, but what you might not remember is how bittersweet the victory was for Piping Lane's original trainer in Tasmania.
Track is cleared, ladies and gentlemen. They're set to run in the 1972 Melbourne Cup, and they're off. A great start.
Far from the mega production we know today, just 2 cameras captured the race that stops the nation when Piping Lane stormed onto the track. A handful of policemen were lucky enough to lean against the fence for the best view, while punters packed the pens outside and inside Flemington Racecourse.
Run and Scotch and Dry has burst away from them. He's exploded away from the field.
A 40-1 outsider, Piping Lane barely rated a mention against the Kiwi favourite Magnifique. That is, until until an upset was unstoppable.
And here comes Gunsend at the 250-metre mark. It's magnifique by a length and a half. The Gunsend Piping Lane could be the danger. Wider out of Stormy Seas and Double Irish. Piping Lane has moved up, got his head in front of Magnifique. Wider out Stormy Seas and Gunsend, but Piping Lane has won the money. A boil over.
Piping Lane's owner was Ray W. Trinder. The story goes he didn't see his horse win. Given his low profile in Victoria at the time, the gatekeeper didn't let Ray into the parading yard. Then, his short stature meant he couldn't see over the crowd in the grandstand.
Some fella said, oh, I said, Piping Lane's won it. I said, I don't know, it's like that. And he said, did you back it? I said, no. I said, I own it.
The love between man and horse was everlasting, but in this story there is also heartbreak. Often forgotten is Piping Lane's original trainer, Bill Wells, who lost the chance to guide a Cup champion when Trinder took over.
I was happy, but I was very disappointed.
In what way?
Well, for losing such a good horse as Piping Lane, because I don't think, and matter of fact I'm sure, that no one in Tasmania knew, only me, how good that horse was, and I knew and never seen the best of him.
In retirement, Trinder and Piping Lane were inseparable and travelled to Melbourne together every year for the Parade of Champions on Cup Day Eve.
I think when they get up to that age, you take one at a time. Yeah. Every year's a bonus for both of us.
Good evening and happy Friday to you. Hobart 20 today, Launceston 23, Burnie 18 and Devonport 20. Fine and sunny weather over the south, but a few light showers reported in the north in between sunny breaks. Grove 21 degrees, Low Head 19, Friendly Beaches, Lyawini and the Islands 17. St Helens a cool one, 15 today. Now here we see the setup today with the cloud over the northern half of Tasmania and mostly over the northeast later in the afternoon. Some cumulus cloud sits over the Northern Territory and scattered over eastern Australia. A frontal band of cloud over and south of South Australia. Of course, that's heading our way. That's the front moving closer to Tasmania tomorrow. A ridge of high pressure moves over Western Australia. Northeast and northwest winds tomorrow afternoon at 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots over the southwest before a west to southwest change overnight. Swells at 2.5 metres. Strong wind warning has been issued for waters between Wineglass Bay and Stanley. Hobart, a shower or two later, a top of 25, 24 for Medina, showers developing as well for Oatlands, 11 overnight, 21 the top. Showers developing for Launceston, 21, 18 for Devonport, showers for Lyawini, 15 the maximum. Burnie expecting 17 degrees with showers increasing, showers developing for Strawn, 23 and 18 the top for Marrawar. St Helens, a shower or two increasing later in the day, 20 the top, 21 for Swansea and Orford. UV into the very high range, peaking at 8. On Sunday, scattered showers contracting to the northeast during the morning before reappearing over the west and far south in the afternoon. Partly cloudy on Monday, a light shower possibly over the northeast and later over the west. And on Tuesday, scattered showers developing with west and northwesterly winds. Partly cloudy in Perth, a possible thunderstorm in Adelaide and Melbourne. An afternoon shower in Sydney, 26 there. Showers as well in Brisbane and storms moving in over Darwin. And cloudy conditions around the state at the moment, 18 degrees in Hobart, Launceston 19 and Devonport 17 degrees. And I'm sure all our local cricketers, Kim, are hoping for some respite from the rain that's due, because it's been a pretty scratchy season for the cricketers so far with the weather. The rain isn't due until late tomorrow afternoon. Wouldn't have worried me though, I was pretty good with the greasy ball.
I don't know why we do it. Thank you very much, Murph. That is your news for now. Thanks for joining us. For now, on behalf of the entire Tasmania Local News team, good night.